The Mentally Unstable Wing of Ponyville Hospital by TwistedSkittles. Chapter 8. To be Found by You. Now as Pinkie slept, she was dreaming about her old life in Ponyville. How she was random and funny, and how every pony laughed with her at her parties. Or was laughing at her. She often did some strange things at her parties to make her friends laugh, but what were they laughing at? Her? Or the fact that she was doing something silly? It didn't matter now, for she woke up. She rubbed her eyes. She had no idea what time it was, but it had to be night, since she saw that the nurses had gone home, and only a few guards were outside the hall. But wait! What was that? Pinkie had seen something, or some pony out of place. It was a tan stallion with what looked like a magic wand or something in his mouth. Following him were her friends. Pinkie normally would have jumped up and down, but now she was wondering if this was some sort of prank. The guards often teased them, saying they really were normal ponies, only to laugh at the gleeful looks. No, it had to be them. Yes, it was. They seemed to be looking through the doors of the other patients. They were looking for her. Pinkie began shouting, trying to get their attention. Rainbow Dash heard her yells and went over to Pinkie's rooms. "Dashy, is it really you?" Pinkie asked her Pegasus friend. Rainbow Dash said something, but Pinkie couldn't hear her. "Dash, I can't hear you. It's the soundproof glass," Pinkie exclaimed. Rainbow Dash nodded, and then waved her hoof at the stallion, who came over immediately. He stuck his magic wand near the lock, making the tip of it a bright blue. The door opened, and Pinkie jumped out, giving Rainbow Dash a huge hug. "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you," Pinkie said over and over. Rainbow Dash blushed, but let her friend hug her for a while longer, then gently pushed her off. Rainbow Dash looked at the grayish-pink mare. Her mane was still flat, and she was covered in scars and bruises, and her eyes looked tired. Yet inside, Rainbow knew that she had her friend back. "Good to see ya, Pinks," she said, with a huge grin. Pinkie suddenly looked around and saw no guards. "Where are the guards?" she asked. "Oh, I just stuffed them in that room over there," the doctor pointed to a spare room. They could see guards pounding on the door, trying to escape. "Let's unlock the others," Twilight said. The doctor walked over to Derpy's room. He unlocked it with a sonic screwdriver. As the door opened, Derpy looked up at them fearfully. When she saw the doctor, her face lit up. He immediately rushed over and began unlocking her chains. "Let's get out of here," he said to her as she pulled the chains off. Soon Screwball and Screwloose were free, and the group was now unlocking Princess Luna's room. When the door opened, Luna raised her head and gave them all a sad smile. She was hesitant to come out, peeking her head to check for any guards. When she saw none, she slowly stepped out. Her wings were untied, and the metal cage was lifted off her horn. "Thank you all, little ponies. You have no idea how much freedom means to us right now," she told them. They could only stare at the princess, whose eyes were filled with tears of joy. They seemed to have a hard time processing the fact that Luna had scars on her sides and on her back, and the bruises on her face, along with the rest of her body. When they came to Mind Twist's door, they became hesitant when they saw the damage to the metal. They turned to the insane, who nodded. The doctor went up to the door and unlocked it. It swung open slowly, revealing a black Pegasus. She was sitting in the middle of the room, crying, her back towards the group. She turned her head to look at them, her eyes bright with fear. But once she realized they were not of the hospital staff, her eyes softened a bit, and she gave them all a small smile.